Hi, everyone, and welcome to a kid lit loving edition of Words, Images, and Worlds. I am glad on this episode to be joining the Zoom space of author Vicky Fang. Vicky, thank you for jumping in, joining me, and it's Sunday morning here. So good morning to you.
Good morning to you too. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure, my pleasure. I told you that I would shout out the shelfie back there, which I always enjoy. Those are the books. I see Ava Lin back there, Ava Lin, best friend. And then the other series that I know you for is Layla and the Bots as well. And
Yep,
you have
yep,
several
it's
other
down there.
books. I see that. I see that. Yeah. Yeah. Um, so by means of a first question that I like to ask, being an English teacher sort of soul that I am, what connected you to authoring and the written word?
Yeah, so I used to be a product designer, and really just my whole life I've just loved making things. So, I started off way back when I was an actress, and then I became a digital artist, and then I became a product designer. And then as I was working as a product designer, I was at Google working on products for kids and families,
Hmm.
and I was doing lots of research about kids and how important storytelling is for them and how important characters are, you know, both for engaging them, but also in terms of education. And I was having my own kids at the same time and reading books with them. And I just fell in love with, sitting with my kids and reading books. And I thought,
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
want to do this. So for me, I came to words by way of wanting to create an experience with my kids, um, and with other kids as well. And so I had to learn how to write because that had never been something I had thought about doing. I was always a reader, and I enjoyed writing, in school when I was younger, but I never thought I would want to become a writer. Um, so that was something I had to figure out. So that was fun. I had no idea what I was in for at the time.
Writing for young people is its own flex. Now you mentioned that you were an actress.
Yes.
So any credits that we would know you for? Just curious.
Well, I'm going to be dating myself here, but if you ever watched the original Charmed or
Yes.
Once and Again, I was on, I was on one episode of Charmed. I had one line on one episode. And then I was on a few episodes of Once and Again. I was on an episode of Diagnosis Murder. Um, so just like little parts here and there.
Nice, nice. We will YouTube it. To date our household, we're currently rewatching Dawson's Creek for I don't know what time. So, yeah, it totally
Amazing.
works. Yes, yeah, absolutely. But back to the writing trajectory. So again, writing for young people, kind of its own set of challenges. How do you keep that audience in mind as you're creating?
Yeah, I feel like because I was doing this product design work in the kids space and I was working with a lot of, researchers and experts. A lot of them had come from Sesame Workshop. So there was just a lot of great foundation around developmental stages, around parasocial relationships. You know, it was such a great foundation for me to have going in. And we were also doing our own research with kids and sort of seeing, I was testing different prototypes so I could see
Mhm.
firsthand what was working and what wasn't working. And so I think that was such an amazing foundation for me to start writing books. And then, of course, having my own kids who are like, that's funny, that's not. They have very strong opinions. Um, and so all of that I try to keep in mind as I write books. And it's definitely a continual growing and learning process, which is what I love about it too. Like I constantly feel like I'm learning more with each book that I write as kids read them and respond to them, as I get better at crafting words or images. Um, and that's what keeps it really exciting for me too.
Yeah, yeah. Always something new to learn, I'm sure, and it is a very honest audience as well.
Yes.
Uh, I imagine you do school visits or interact with readers in different ways, either through the mail, email, or different things. Any particularly surprising interaction that you've had with a reader over the years, or kind of one of those interesting connecting with young audiences experiences?
Yeah, I do school visits, though my first books launched during the pandemic. So
Hmm.
a
Hmm.
lot of them were virtual in the beginning and have moved into in person. And it's been so much fun and so amazing to see kids and how excited they are about books, bringing drawings or I was in a school one time and there was a little girl in the front row and she just couldn't stop saying, "Is this real or is it a dream?" Just or
I
like
get that all the time when I teach.
oh,
Oh,
I'm
no,
sure.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Or just like wanting hugs or asking me to sign like just anything because they don't have a book. They're like, "Will you sign my hand? Will you sign?" And it's so cute. But I think my favorite was I got a letter in the mail that said, um, I I don't like reading, but your books make me want to read. And
That's
I mean,
that is high praise.
yeah. And that's, I think what we all aspire to as writers for kids, that's the best compliment. So,
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I'm curious about what is right now in the creative forefront, what you're currently working on that you can talk about, as well as spaces where people can go to connect and uh, see about author visits and send you messages about your books and things like that.
yeah. So right now I'm working on my new chapter book series, Ava Lin, Best Friend, which you have seen an early preview of.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
and so that is a hybrid chapter book graphic novel that's heavily illustrated, and there are some panels in there, and it's mixed in, and it's very funny, very relatable. As I talk about my kids being brutally honest, a lot of it is about the honesty and hilarity of being a kid and sort of
Hmm.
experiencing social experiences for the first time, different things that they don't know how to navigate and have to figure out how to navigate. Um, and the earnestness and optimism that they go into these things with that I love. So I'm working on the Ava Lynn series. I just finished art for book two. I'm working on the manuscript for book three. And then I have another early graphic novel, an early reader graphic novel that's launching in 2025 or 2026.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
it's called One Mad Cat. I'm very excited about it. It's a very cute cat who has to get over all the things that annoy her in life in order to help solve light mysteries for and with her friends. So I'm very excited about that. I'm doing the illustrations. It's going to be graphic novel style. So yeah, we're still putting it together. So I'm not quite sure what to expect, but I'm excited for it.
Love it, love it. I'm a fan of the graphic novel, so and I also know that it is its own creative journey. Uh,
Yes.
Quite an intense experience putting that together.
Yes, I've stayed in the early reader realm so far, but I've definitely gotten a taste of. So my agent sometimes asks me like, "Do you want to do a middle grade graphic novel?" And it kind of terrifies me because then I'm going from, 30, 40 pages up to like 200 pages. So
Hmm. Hmm.
I
Hmm.
haven't quite made the leap yet, but I do have one noodling in my head right now, so maybe that'll change.
Nice, nice, nice. Well, let me know if it does, and we will talk about it by all
Oh,
means.
that would be great.
Yeah. Um, and so that final question, unless there's anything else that I've missed that you want to mention, is spaces where people can connect,
Yeah, so you can find me online at vickyfang.com. And then I'm on social media. I mean, social media is all over the place now, but
right?
usually, I mean, Instagram, I'm Fangmus Books, which
I
is
love that.
FANGMOUS Books.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, so you can find me there. And then there's contact on my website. If kids, I do have a PO box that kids can send stuff to if they want to, and I do try to respond. So
All right. All right. Well, fantastic. Did we miss anything at all that you want to make sure to mention?
No, I don't think so.
All
It
right.
was
All
fun
right.
chatting with you.
Good to chat with you as well. I will put the Instagram below our image on the video and in the show notes on the audio, as well as your website link. So I appreciate the work that you're doing. Uh, I appreciate how you're connecting readers to the written word and looking forward to the graphic novels and books that are on the way.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, my
I really
pleasure.
appreciate you doing this. This is a lot of work for you too. So,
Well, it's a good passion project, so it works. But
yeah.
glad to do it. Glad to share.
Oh, awesome. Well, hopefully I'll catch you at the next MCT.
Yes, yeah, I hope so. I hope so. This past year was my first in person. I had sort of done like the pandemic version that was all on a website, and so it was fun. I will definitely return.
Yeah, it was my first year too. So I'm trying to get back there this year. We'll see. It's a strange like juggle as an author because you pitch for panels and then you try to convince your publisher to send you.
Mhm, mhm, right.
So we'll see.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I hope to connect there and glad to connect for the podcast anytime.
Awesome. Thanks, Jason. Have a good rest of your weekend.
You too. Thanks.